What's going on, my Jeenies? It's your girl Jeenies, and I am back. I'm definitely back. As you can probably see by this title, I kind of wanted to come back on here and like dig a bit deeper into certain things about Canada since I've just recently moved here. So I'm gonna get stuck right in, but before I do, please make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. It really helps, and I appreciate all the support thus far. If you are a returning subscriber, hello, hi, it's good to have you back. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Jeenies. I recently moved to Canada from the UK. It's been about 5 months now since I got here, having the time of my life, honestly. It's definitely come with its challenges, but nevertheless, I do not regret it whatsoever. Since I've been doing a lot of content out here and kind of filling you guys in on how to get your visa, if that is something that you wanted to do. I've had a lot of questions in my DMs. You guys have literally flooded my DMs with questions and stuff, so I'm trying to upload as much information as possible on here, just because it's easier to just kind of like do one video and you can all watch it, rather than me like replying constantly to messages and like repeating the same thing. So so for today's video, I'm gonna get into at least 7 things that I wish I knew about Canada before I moved here. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, if you see me looking down, I have my notes here because I want to make sure I include as much as possible, okay? So yeah, the first thing that I wish I knew about Canada before moving here, guys, there's a really, 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 really bad issue with homelessness out here. Like, I guess we can just call it a housing crisis. And now the world is going to fucking shits. The world is going to shit. So I'm not saying that this doesn't happen in London and like we don't have a bad like homelessness issue back home or anywhere across the globe. But I'm saying here it is. I've never seen anything like it. Like in LA, whenever I go to LA, there would always be parts where it'd be really crazy and like really dominated with homeless people. And then in London, you've got certain areas that are like quite the same. But here, it's like everywhere you go, there is people without homes. And I really had to put this separate from my second one, which I'm going to get into in a second, which is there's an issue with like drug use out here. Drug addicts, alcoholics, like whatever we want to call them. I'm not going to disrespect anyone on here. We were all someone's baby at one point, okay? But I really don't like when people say, oh, like they put like homeless people and like crackheads or like drug users in the same bracket. Some people are just homeless. Some people actually just don't have a home to go to or a roof over their head. Doesn't mean that they're users. So yeah, it's just, those are the 2 things that I've noticed that it's really heavy out here. More or less wherever you go, you're going to see some sort of like homeless issue or drug issue. It's just everywhere. Like everywhere I've been to so far in Canada, I can't even say in Canada, in Toronto. I know there's like I did hear before I got here, there was like this whole drug issue. There's like one that's been going around. And oh my God, it's just so sad to see. Like, I just look at people, I'm just like, you was someone's baby. Like, you was actually someone's whole child. And like, this world is just failing so many of us. Like, I'm not even gonna get into it. But those are my first 2 things, okay? So, sometimes I kind of think, like, how are they even letting in new people when they're not even taking care of their own? Do you know what I mean? Like, why? I don't know. I'm not going to get into it too deep, but those are my first 2 things. So be warned, if you are looking to come to Toronto, you're going to have a lot of people on the streets, and that's just how it is. And I live in quite a nice area. I'm like more or less downtown, so it's quite busy where I am. You literally walk down a normal road and you'll always see some sort of like homeless issue or like drug issue. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. The third thing, seeing as those 2 were my first and second, definitely have to keep those separate though, guys. The third thing that I would say I wish I knew before moving to Canada is, okay, now I don't know if this is something Actually, I do know. At my last job, one thing that I've realised is they pay bi-weekly out here. So every 2 weeks you get paid instead of getting paid once a month, which is so annoying. However, when I was speaking to like friends that work in kind of like different hours of work out here, it's not the same for everyone. Like some companies do it once a month, some companies might do it, I don't know, it's different for everyone. But for majority of the people that I know that work out here, including myself, you get paid every 2 weeks. That shit is so annoying. Like, why do you want to pay me every 2 weeks? Why can't you pay me once a week? Now, some people have said they like it because then it means that they always know that they've got money coming in. Whereas I kind of stand from the point of like, no, give me what I want to get paid from that job one time in the month, so I know how much I need to like put away, save, budget, what I need to pay for, so I can see what I'm getting. Do you know what I mean? In London, I know in the UK that's how we do things, unless you're like freelance or, you know, self-employed or whatever the case is. Like normal jobs, you get paid once a month. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm just used to it being like that. Every 2 weeks just seems a bit silly and messy and like, yeah, it's just annoying. The whole bi-weekly thing leads into my fourth point, my fourth thing that I wish I knew before moving to Canada, which is tax. Girl, let me not even, because maybe I really haven't done my research on the whole tax thing, because it's really just, it just confuses me, okay? But like, I know for sure that Canada is one of the highest tax paying countries there are. I'm pretty sure we're up there in like top 5. Okay? This shit is insane. Like, when I'm looking at my payslip, I'm like, huh? Like, that can't even be, it doesn't even feel like, even me as an immigrant over here, like, just doing like a little holiday working experience, I guess you call it, I don't really feel like I should be taxed that much. Like, something just doesn't feel right, okay? It doesn't feel right. Then you also have to realise, every 2 weeks you're getting paid. If you're in a job that's paying you every 2 weeks, now correct me if I'm wrong. If you know better than me, correct me in the comments, okay? But from what I was seeing on my payslip, it looked as if, yes, every 2 weeks I'm getting taxed. Sorry? Every 2 weeks, every time you get paid, you get taxed. So every 2 weeks I'm getting taxed. Are you having a laugh? Like, it's just cruel at this point, because you're clearly not even using the money to house people on the flipping streets. So where's my money going? Do you know what I mean? Like, where is my money going at this point? Like, I really just didn't understand. I really don't understand till now what the flying heck that's all about. Another annoying thing to do with the whole tax thing is that you have to file your taxes even when you're like in a 9-to-5 job. So in the UK, we're used to like our taxes basically being done for us, unless like if you're self-employed, obviously that's something that you have to do yourself. But when you're just working a normal job, they take out a certain amount of money every month, and then if you're owed anything, if you've like paid more than you should have in taxes, they'll just kind of sort it out themselves, and they'll send you like a letter at the end of the year or at the end of the tax year to basically tell you that you've paid more than you should have, and they're giving you like a check, or the rest of the money that they owe you is going to be in your account. That's how it usually is. You have to file those yourself in order to find out if you are owed any money. So you have to like get all your pay slips from work, and actually file your fucking shit so they can like basically see if they owe you any money. You have to do that like at the end of every tax year, even if you're not self-employed. Like if you're working in a 9-to-5 job, it's just stupid. It's crazy. Like, you're just making people do too much work, sir. Too much work, honey. Okay, so that is number 4. Number 5, okay? Number 5, these all kind of tie into each other, but we must speak on number 5. We must speak on number 5. The cost of living. Now, like I said, I know the world is going to fucking shits. the world is going to shit. And I really don't want to seem like I'm complaining in this video, because there is more things to worry about that are going on right now. But yes, at home in London, the cost of living was bad. It was really bad. The cost of groceries, the cost of just services like an Uber, or like, I don't know, just like TFL keeps going up, and rent is disgusting. People are moving back in with their parents, or like what you would pay like back in the day for like a 2-bedroom, you're now only getting a studio, and the studio is basically a kitchen with a corner for you to put your bed in. Like, it is ridiculous back home. When I got to Canada, and I can't even say when I first got here it was bad, because I didn't get to experience the whole living thing and doing everything myself when I first got here, because when I arrived, I was staying with my auntie in her house, and yeah, I kind of like, I don't know, just to settle in, I didn't straight away have to find somewhere to live. So I was at my auntie's for about a month and a bit. And then once I ended up finding a job, and getting stuck into work, and I knew I had the money in order to pay rent and stuff, I found myself a condo, and I got really lucky with where I live. I do have a roommate, but I feel like I got really lucky because, not going into it too much, but I got a really good deal on like how much I spend here a month, okay? However, when I was looking, before I moved here, when I was looking for somewhere to move into, you're looking at spending like anywhere between, I don't even know how to put it. Let's just say, like, I'm going to make it a bit broad. Let's just say anything between 1,500 and 2,500 Canadian dollars on rent. And that's usually for something shared, if you're living in Toronto. Like, I didn't really see anything that I could have had all to myself that would have been under like 2,000. Like, anything that you want to yourself is going to literally be in the like late 2,000s, late 3,000s, all the way up to like $4,000 probably. So majority of the people out here do share places. Like, if you're moving out here and you're not on like a big budget, and you know you have a job but you don't really want to spend all your wages on rent and stuff, you're probably gonna have to share. Like, unless these prices come down, or unless you got a really good fucking job and you got motion like that, then you're probably gonna find yourself having a roommate. Now, I would also say, like, the reason why I wanted a roommate wasn't because I wanted to share the costs. It was because I genuinely didn't want to live by myself in a new country straight away. I've been living by myself for years back home in London. I wanted to be comfortable, like, and I feel like I was a bit paranoid when I first got here, because I'm doing everything by myself. So it was kind of nice to move in somewhere and know that I wasn't like by myself in a house or in a new area, in a new country, as a foreigner. So that was like my main reason. But then when I started looking for places and I was like, oh my God, these fucking prices, there's no way. Then I was like, okay, cool. Like, the whole roommate thing was like, okay, I can live with a roommate and still have like a really nice place and save money so that I can get my own place. So that's currently what I'm doing now. So I definitely recommend maybe doing that or going down that route. I will include some websites in the description that you can like use to look at places to rent. There were a few handy ones that I used when I got out here. Like, the cost of groceries and stuff, you really have to make sure that the area that you choose to live in, like, whether it's in, I can't speak for outside of Toronto because I live in Toronto, but yeah, like, the area that you live in is going to depend on where you do your food shop, because you're not going to travel like crazy far to do a food shop. Yeah, it would depend on where you do your food shops. It would do where you do like just your regular shopping, and what, like, how much you end up spending. Because I live downtown, everything's fucking expensive. It's literally like living in Soho. It's literally like living in central London. Well, I kind of did live in central, but it's like living in like the heart of central London, like Soho, Oxford Street. Like, Yo, the shops are just so expensive. Like, my supermarkets around here, just ridiculous prices, like absolute ridiculous prices. But it's so crazy because now I've gotten used to the prices. When I went to my friend's house not too long ago, and where she lives is a little, it's not like downtown. She's like a little more east, I would say, maybe. And she has like a supermarket there that apparently it's just the one that everyone goes to because it's like the prices are just normal prices, like you won't choke. And we went in there and I was just like, no fucking way. I was like, this shit is so cheap. She was like, cheap? She was like, girl, this is just normal prices. I'm like, I've gotten so used to paying these prices where I fucking live. This shit is like a miracle. Let me find out. Let me move. So yeah, it definitely, where you pick to stay is definitely going to have an impact on all of the other things that you now have to pay for. So definitely keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that like the cost of living is spread over majority of things. So that goes down to like getting your hair done, the cost of like getting your nails done, like maintenance stuff. Like, I don't know for barbers, okay guys, I'm not really sure, but I'm just guessing it's going to be the same. Like, obviously the exchange rate, like I said, is going to play a big part in why things look more expensive, because the Canadian dollar is hella weak and I don't think it's going to change. So like when I'm looking at prices to get my hair braided, I'm like, excuse me? Like, huh? When I go get my nails done, I'm like, yo, I just can't even believe like the prices of getting your nails. It's disgusting. It's actually disgusting. So just be prepared and make sure you come out here with some sort of savings. Make sure you have a means to work when you do get here, and also just live within your means. Like, don't come out here looking to just like have a good time and like splash all your money. It's the worst thing you can possibly do. Like, you need to come here and be strategic, have a plan, and ultimately like have like a balance between like living, having an experience, and kind of just being sensible with your money, because it is expensive over here. Number 6 that I'm going to get into, the next reason I'm going to get into is Toronto is very similar to London. Now, this might not be an issue for some of you. It actually might be quite comforting knowing that you're moving somewhere that kind of reminds you of home and it kind of makes you feel comfortable and stuff. For me, it has become the reason as to why I want to travel a little bit more before I choose where I'm actually going to settle down, where I'll end up buying a property, only because, like, for instance, I feel like I'll stay in Canada. I just don't know if Toronto is where I'm going to stay. It's so similar to London. Like, down to the buildings, like where I live, it literally looks like Canary Wharf. Like, the shops, you have a lot of Brits, like a lot of British people have come over here. I don't blame them. But like, it just reminds me a lot of London. Like, the culture is very similar. Like, you've got a lot of Caribbean and African culture over here, which is amazing. Love that. But yeah, just the layout of things, like the whole like get up, go to work, go home, party on the weekend type vibes. Obviously there are a few slight different changes that I've noticed, like with living here. However, it's just, I don't feel like I've had that much of a culture shock. And obviously moving to Toronto, you're not, realistically, I already knew I wasn't going to get much of a culture shock, but I didn't think it would be so British. And obviously I know that we have, dibs, if we want to call it, over here in Canada. The Queen's face is still on the bloody, is it the 20 notes? Whatever the purple note is, the Queen's face is there. Is it the purple note? I don't know. But Queen Elizabeth is still on the notes out here, okay? So I know we got dibs over here. So I wasn't expecting too much. However, when I have travelled outside of Toronto, I've felt a little bit more of a fresh start, like a new breeze. Like, it felt different. Like, yeah, it just felt a bit more different. So I'm definitely looking forward to traveling outside of Toronto and kind of seeing what else Canada has to offer. So definitely keep that in mind. If you're looking to move out of the UK because you want something different, I don't know if Toronto is going to give you different. It might give you comfortability and, I know, just like physically like a different environment, but I don't think it's going to give you different in terms of experience. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to get into is probably like, I only have like 2 more after this, okay? And they're not major ones, but the next one that I wanted to say was, in order to get your permanent residency, you do have to do like quite a lengthy application process. I'm actually going to start mine soon. I haven't decided, but I'm going to, if by the end of the year, I'm going to decide if I'm going to apply for my PR. Now, one thing that I did learn is that your permanent residency is only for 5 years. Now, like I mentioned in the vlog explaining everything to do with the visa that I'm on out here, it is for 2 years, the visa that I'm on, but I am allowed to appeal for a 1-year extension. So in all, you have 3 years in order to stay out here on the IEC program. Now, the PR, the permanent residency, is only 5 years, in which after that 5 years, I'm not sure you're allowed to renew it. I think you would have to then opt in for a different visa option. I could be wrong. Or if you can renew it, it's just like a constant thing of permanent isn't really permanent. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're always going to have to do something to stay here unless you get married, girl. Unless you meet the woman of your dreams. Unless something goes on. Like, I feel like the visa thing is like never ending. Like, you always got to apply for something. So yeah, that was a bit annoying when I heard that, because I was just like, yo, like when I apply for a permanent residency, I'm like, can I just have a permanent residency? But I guess like if you was to change your mind like down the line, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Yeah, I guess to each their own, but that's definitely something that I didn't know before moving here. The next thing I would probably say is traffic. Traffic is crazy out here. Now, girl, I do not drive out here. I need to get my license. Obviously, I knew that they drove on the wrong side of the road. The other side of the road in comparison to back home in the UK. What I didn't know was, after you have used your international license for 3 months, you then have to apply for a Canadian driver license. But that means you actually have to do the theory test and you actually have to do the driving test. It's almost like you have to do everything all over again. I didn't know that. Like, I thought, oh, maybe I would have to do like a little driving test or something, like just to show them that I can actually drive or whatever. You actually have to do the theory and the driving test. You have to do everything basically to get your Canadian license. You can't just like transfer the UK license over here. And I think that literally has everything to do with the fact that we do everything on the opposite side of the street. The car, everything in the car is on the opposite side. So it does kind of make sense, but I wish I knew that beforehand, because that is really annoying. I've had my UK license for nearly 3 years now. And I didn't even get to do much driving in London because there's just literally no point. So it's just annoying that I have to kind of do that all over again. So do keep that in mind if you are somebody who's looking to drive out here. Also, there's mad traffic. Yo, there's mad traffic out here. Like, people be driving crazy for one, but there's mad traffic. I be stuck in Ubers, like just sat there like, yo, can we like, I might as well get out and walk. Traffic be crazy. So keep that in mind. Definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, those are the things that I kind of wish I knew before coming to London, or I kind of didn't even know. But I guess it's like handy to know. So just keep those things in mind if Canada is somewhere on your list of places to travel to or to move to in the near future. I really do appreciate you guys reaching out to me on Instagram if you have. It's been lovely speaking to some of you. I'm sorry if I'm don't manage to give you as much information on Instagram as I would like to. It's just I've got a lot of messages to go through, so bear with me, okay? But yeah, I hope I included like as much information as I possibly could in this video. And yeah, I'm actually going to do another video. I'm going to do a checklist of things that you should, like how to prepare for moving to Canada. So make sure you check out that video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe, please. I want to get to 100 subscribers. It's not many. Please. And yeah, I will see you guys and speak to you guys shortly. TTYL. The hurt one is what's